Good evening, all. We are officially back. My time away, I actually cut it down a week. Decided to come a week earlier than I intended. I was going to do this next week, but I decided to jump on now. So we are here. We are live, and we are broadcasting We're doing a simulcast, broadcasting to my business YouTube page, as well as to here on Facebook. So I'm not directly on Facebook as I would normally be broadcasting. I am actually on what's called StreamYard, and I intentionally put the Powered by StreamYard up there so you can see it. For those who may be considering broadcasting at some point as well, I highly recommend it for a nominal fee each month, or you can do the, of course, annual. You can broadcast to multiple social media platforms. A lot of people are using this. I'm not saying everybody, but a lot of people are using this. There's one caveat, which is, and of course I have it up on my laptop so I can actually see. If you are on, I can't see your Facebook comments unless you are willing to let StreamYard know that you're on Facebook. So I have to actually be watching the broadcast myself as well. So that's one little thing I have to do so I can see when you're actually commenting. But by all means, join us. Make sure that sound is off. So get any comments. All right, it's 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. You know me. I don't hold on. I don't wait and do all that till we get our numbers up, because this is going to be saved on to my Facebook page. So you'll be able to watch this back at your leisure. This is a discussion, yet that being said, this is meant to be a discussion. So I am watching for the comments. So by all means, feel free to comment as we go. For those who may be new to this, to watching this for the first time on YouTube, our YouTube audience as well, this is not a Bible study. This is nothing like that. So I got my Christian friends who bless your hearts. If you comment with, hey, that's, you got to be Christian now. You got to say it like this. I think some people have a notion of what being Christian or sounding Christian is. Unless you can show me a book, chapter, and a verse of what that sounds like, I just want to encourage you to hold those kind of comments. Let's talk after, and then I think you might get some better understanding of what you really mean. Sounding Christian, it doesn't mean using Christian phrases or things of that nature. That's just a really bad misunderstanding, and it's not supported by Scripture. It's not supported by Scripture. Being respectable and all that, of course, but the notion that there is a such thing as sounding Christian or some kind of set of statements that people make or something, nobody can prove that. Nobody can show me in Scripture, and I've only read Scripture through entirely 6 times. So that I have to put that out there, because occasionally I get somebody who sees the Pastor Matthews, Pastor Gay piece and thinks there's some certain way that people in that position talk. Well, that's not true. And obviously I grew up around pastors because my father is one. And so his friends, and trust me, if you could hear the way some of them talk, I'm not saying that's right either, but so let me just put that out. That's the unpleasant part, but I got to do it just because I'm trying to help people out a little bit. So if you are one who feels like a pastor's got to speak a certain way, love you. This probably won't be the broadcast. Catch me on my Facebook channel, Victory and Cross broadcast channel. Then you get all the preachies you can handle. Hundreds and hundreds of videos on a YouTube channel that you can digest and just hear Jesus, God, Holy Spirit, and all those phrases and terms and Corinthians and Colossians and until your heart's content. But here on Thursday, now obviously I'm a Christian, so some of that's going to pour out of me as time goes on, because that's not just what I do for a living, it's what I am. It's become who I am, as it is supposed to be for all of us, by the way, not just for people who do what I do. That said, so we got that out the way. We're back. We haven't been here for at least a month and a half, maybe, since our last broadcast. Glad to be before you. I was going to actually, my first topic was going to be something else. The proverbial shoe drop. We'll do that next week. But today I want to do the open door policy. The open door policy. If you work on any kind of job, really, if you are a manager, if you are a boss, if you are an employee, it doesn't matter. At some point or another, you've heard somebody say in your training, if you even got training, I've been on jobs I didn't even get training. It was kind of one of those, hey, you're here. Sorry, we can't really train you, but work with this guy. He'll help you figure it out. But they still say this while they're walking away. Oh, there's an open door policy. Yeah, here at whatever, I won't say a name, here at this place, we have an open door policy, right? So anytime, for any reason, if you just feel like you're tired or you just need a day off, or whatever the case may be, we have an open door. My door is always open, right? As a matter of fact, if you didn't read my write-up for this, I want to read it because it's a bit more expansive than I'm being right now. The open door policy. Have you ever worked in an environment in which you were told that you can always come to me because my door is always open? Most of us understand that to mean they are good listeners, ready to hear, and in truth, they are ready to hear the more difficult, uncomfortable, and likely troublesome issues, not just the good stuff. Maybe you had parents or guardians who told you to come to me no matter what, because whatever it is, they would hear you, potentially believe you, and maybe even be able to fix the situation where a solution is necessary. Let's not leave out other family members and friends who said something similar, indicating that they could, at the very least, be trusted. But have you trusted such a person and found that they weren't the listeners you hoped they would be, or that their advice was wanting, or worse yet, they were in fact the source of your problem? Or on the flip side, have you been the person wanting people to trust you and never having taken inventory of yourself? You can't see that you are the problem. That you are the problem. That was the write-up for this particular discussion tonight. Again, this is really a discussion. It's a great opportunity for you to share what you think, what you feel, and I'll try to respond as I'm able. I want to talk about this because obviously I've been through it, and because of what I do for a living, clearly this is something that I have indicated. I've even indicated it on the Thursday night broadcast that I do, that, hey, call me, contact me, my number. Here's my number. Here's my email address. Facebook Messenger, Instagram Messenger, whatever the case may be, contact me if you need to talk. So if we stop for a moment and just think about it, I imagine if you have even a friend, close family member, like a sister to you that might be a friend, like a sister or brother to you, you've probably said it and didn't really think about it. Hey, man, I'm here for you, man. Open door. Maybe somebody passed away, something like that, and you said, I'm here for you. Call me anytime. Don't go through this by yourself. knew somebody who was dealing with an addiction issue. Call me anytime. My door is always open. All right. So, hey, I've said it. I suspect most of us have probably said it, but we didn't necessarily think, well, of course I had to. I have to think it through. But a lot of times, even I've said it and didn't necessarily consider all that would go into it. Okay, this is not an issue. Oh, just stay with me for a minute. And you might come to realize this is far more an issue than you realized, than you actually have given any thought to. So doors always open. Let's deal with it from a standpoint of an employer, right? Hey, my door is always open. Now, in my years when I worked in a regular job, 9 to 5, whatever the shift was, clock in, clock out, every single person I've ever worked for told me that. At least a manager told me, a supervisor told me, my door is always open. And let me start with some good stuff. I can remember a lady by the name of Ida Ibarra. If my mother was on here, she would be able to tell you about this lady. We both worked for the same company 21 years ago. My office manager, I was working in the wonderful, if Ernesto Gomez is on here, he can tell you she was our office manager, and she truly was my door is always open. And trust me, we had to go talk to her because we were facing some very unfortunate circumstances for which all of us got fired, if I'm not mistaken. I know I did. I know Ernesto did. And we were talking to her we were in a satellite office. We were talking to her. We were going to become whistleblowers on our company because they were mistreating us. They were doing all kind of unfair, illegal practices for which they did get punished for. But before they got punished, we got fired. We got fired. It was a very, very serious situation. That's all I can tell you. It was deep. But we could go to her. And I wish Ernesto was on tonight because he would tell you. We could go to her. I know he went to her. I went to her because we went to her at the same time. And we sat down with her. She was experienced in terms of, human resources and things of this nature. And we could talk to her about what we went through. That was one situation I could do that. I'm trying to see if I had another. I'm trying to see. I would say when I worked for the Goodwill. Gabe, you work for Goodwill? Yeah. That was after that job. I got fired. I had to get a job. I got a supervisor's job. And the store manager, Don Harris, great guy, loved the oldies. So he'd have the oldies blasted through the store. Anyway, really nice guy. The job just wasn't my cup of tea. It wasn't working out for me. A lot of different factors won't get into right now. I went to him, sat down with him and said, Don, sorry, man, can't do it. He said, much respect, I understand. And I was on my way. Open door policy, right? Open door. So first of all, let's establish that the whole idea of the open door policy is trust. What makes an open door a truly open door is not just simply the person is willing to listen, but that you can trust the person sitting on the other side of the desk or whatever the case may be. That's at the heart of this. When somebody says, I have an open door policy, how about parent to child, guardian to child or children? Hey, I don't care what's going on, come to me. I'm a father. I have an 11-year-old son. Hey, if you're facing bullies, somebody's picking on you, maybe you're not feeling well, come to me. You're struggling in school. Don't let it go too long, son, daughter, come to me. Essentially, I have an open door policy, right? That's the idea. I have an open door policy. You can always come to me. Now, that's pretty much how it's expressed. But I don't know if when we express that, or whoever does, they're really stopping to what they're really saying is, You can trust me. You can trust me. To say you have an open door policy is to say that you can be trusted. Point blank, period. If you say, you get married, you're about to get married, you say, honey, you know what? Look, marriage is tough. Yeah, babe, it's tough. And I want you to always feel like I know that in your last relationship, the man cheated or the woman cheated or she stole your money or he did this. Or so in this marriage, as we come together, you have an open door policy. In this friendship, we've been friends since kindergarten. Yeah, girl, pigtails, whatever. Yeah, man, we had each other's back. We peed in each other's bed when we spent the night at each other's house. We was there getting our diapers changed. That's how long we've known each other. Your mama changed my diapers. Whatever. Hey, we boys. Pal, we dogs. We folks. We peoples. Whatever you want to say. Open door policy, right? You can always come to me, bro, with anything. Why? I can be trusted. I can be trusted. Period. Point blank. I can be trusted. That's what they're saying. They're saying I can be trusted, hands down, without question. I can be trusted. Oh, I love this part. You can tell me whatever. You can tell me whatever. I can be trusted. You can tell me whatever you want to tell me. Whatever you need to tell me, I can be trusted. That's the point of the open door policy. Now, you can probably get an idea where I'm going to go. But can you really trust the person who says I have an open door policy? Can you really trust that person when you tell them something that you know is disagreeable, that you can trust them? That when you walk through that open door and you sit and have that conversation, that you can trust them. A lot of times, stay with me, it's going to get a little tight through here. We say that on the basis of the relationship. Now, the word relationship is a general term, right? So I am the boss. You are the employee. You can trust me. You can trust me. I am the boss. You are the employee. You can trust me. I am your mama. I am your daddy. Of course you can trust me. I brought you into this world. I know you better than you know yourself. You can trust me. Anybody get nervous yet? Anybody facing that right now? You got something going on your job? Let's dive in. Anybody heard of human resources? Anybody ever ask yourself why human resources exists? What is one of the main functions, and I know people who work in the human resource field, what is one of the main functions of human resource on a job site? If you have a grievance, you can go to human resource. You know why? Because you can't always trust your boss. Because you can't always use or access that open door. Because the truth of the matter is, let's be grown for a good minute. The truth of the matter is, even though the person says, you can trust me, my door is always open, the simple fact of the matter is, their door might be open, but it doesn't mean that you can trust them. They may even appear to be great listeners. They're sitting there, they're nodding their heads at the issues that you are addressing. They're saying, I see. Really? I didn't know that. Oh my goodness. Thank you for telling me. Gonna get right on that. You can trust me. I got your back. And on and on and on. Confidentiality, won't tell anybody what you're telling me. I got you. Right? Maybe you've never been in that situation, but I have. I mean, it's going to get a little tight, but you know how I do. And if you're new to this, stay with me. The fact is, I grew up in and around what people call church. I don't call it church, I call it ministry. I've been in it 28 and a half years. My father's been in it 52 years. So obviously that means I grew up in and around it. I was always around it, and I've never not been around it. And I hate to say what I'm about to say, but you know me, I'm just going to tell you the point blank facts. There are pastors who came to me and said to me in some of the tough periods in my life, Gabe, you don't just have to talk to your dad. I know your dad, we friends. You can trust me. I have an open door policy. In some cases, I did do it. And unfortunately, my experience was not always the best. Gabe, no, don't say that about pastors. Don't say that about preachers or churchgoers. No, my pastor. Well, you should have talked to my pastor. Well, first of all, I didn't know your pastor. Second of all, your pastor is a human being. Your boss is a human being. The human resource person is a human being. The first lady is a human being. I think we have to stop for a moment and realize why the open door policy, while it sounds great, and I'm not here to knock against it. Again, I've said it. I say it, not necessarily open door policy, but obviously I'm in a position where people need to be able to come to me in confidence, with confidence that what they're saying to me will be kept in strict privacy. Unless, of course, there's some illegal situation and I have to report. But other than that, they can say to me, Gabe, man, I'm dealing with drug addiction. And right now, my wife or husband doesn't know. And I'm out spending all our money. Now, I'm going to tell them, you need to tell your spouse. A teenager, a child can come to me, excuse me, Pastor Matthews, Pastor Gabe, please don't tell my mama, but I've been ditching school for the last 3 years. First of all, how in the heck did you get away with that? Second of all, let's talk about it. And obviously, before that conversation is done, we need to have a conversation with your mama, with your daddy. Now, I'm just telling you. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to go have the conversation unless I feel like that person's in danger. But I'm going to strongly encourage them to do it, and I'm going to go with them. I have done that, by the way. Not for ditching school. It was something a bit more serious. That's pretty serious, but it was a bit more serious than that. I have done it. I'm one of those dudes. I'll go with you. I'll go with you. You could put me on three-way. I'll go. I just got through telling a friend whose daughter and son-in-law are having some struggles. Hey, let's four-way. Let's get on. They live in one state. She lives in another state, and I live in a whole other state. Let's get on the phone. Let's talk. Let's talk. So that's what I do. Now that's what I do over there. But this open door policy sounds good. And if you find somebody who you really can go to and you can spill your guts, what is that phrase? Everything on the carpet. That's awesome. And I know this is going to disturb my churchgoers, but I've actually heard pastors gossip. There's an issue. Here's one of the issues with the open door policy. What if you're talking to someone who has a tendency to have loose lips? Well, I just told my wife. Well, your wife is a gossip then. Well, I just told these people over here. Well, why is my business all in the streets? Your open door policy was supposed to come with trust. That open door policy was supposed to come with trust. It was supposed to be a place where I could trust you to tell you, put all of it on the carpet. That's what the open door policy is about. And let's just be honest. Some of us struggle with trusting people. And once the trust is violated, let's just get even more real here. It's hard to restore. It's hard to restore the individual trust in that person who you feel like has violated your trust. Especially when you share with them things, you share your life with them, you put your life on the line, you tell them secrets, you tell them things that not even their mama know, right? Not even their spouse knows. They trust you, and you just have a tendency to want to share some stuff because you share somebody's business and it puts you in the know. So the open door policy is cool, but the underlying issue with the open door policy is when the trust is violated. That's the underlying issue with the whole open door policy. What happens when the trust we'll get there in a minute. What happens when the trust gets violated? But not just the trust is violated in terms of they're out telling your business, because again, believe it or not, depending on the level of seriousness of the thing being shared, there may be a mandate to have to share that. We can deal with that in a minute if you like, later on. But here's another thing. That person's advice stinks. Yeah, that's your boy since kindergarten. That's your girl since pre-K. It doesn't mean they're good at advice. I did a whole broadcast that's now on my YouTube channel, and it's also here on my Facebook page about advice. Good advice, bad advice. So let me turn the tables a little bit right here. For those of you who have an open door policy with a good friend or a family member, even your employer, part of the responsibility is two-way. What do you mean, Gabe? At some point, we got to check the situation. And I'm just be honest with you. I am a cautious person, even though I'm extremely transparent to some people, a little bit more transparent than they would like me to be. The fact is, I'd rather come on here. Listen to me. I'd actually rather come on here in some instances and share transparently on here where 900 and some odd accounts, which represent who knows how many people, can get on here and hear me express something about my life that others might think is personal. I'd rather do that here. Listen to me. I'd rather do that here than to go sit in a room with someone who says open door policy, Gabe, share your heart. And the reason why, remember I flipped it, is because understand this. I have responsibility in what I share and who I share it to. If they're just not trustworthy, they're just not trustworthy. I don't even have to get mad at them. If I find out, if I detect, here's one of those Christian terms. If I discern that even though they my boy, they my friend, they my peeps, we go way back, way back. Even though that's true, but they just may not be the person that you can go to. Not because they're going to tell your business, but because they're terrible at advice. They give advice that has no foundation. You can't research any of it. It's not corroborated by anything other than their personal view and life experience, which I'm not discrediting life experience. I got much respect for life experience, but some things you got to back up with some science. Some things you got to back up with some evidence. And you just know that person ain't very scientific. They're not given to any evidence. Everything they say is always, I feel this, I feel that. You know what? I haven't talked to my mom because, she really is not appreciative of the things that I do. And so I had to put some distance. Well, I just feel like you got to love your mama no matter what. Okay, are you listening to me? Are you listening to me? Yeah, I got an open door with you. I'm glad about that, but what you just said right there is about two steps from stupid. Because one, you're suggesting that on the basis of the relationship that that's my mama, or that's my daddy, or that's my child, that there's some type of communication that is written in some book somewhere that has to be done in the way that you're advising it, and you're not listening to the particular situations. You're not even trying to empathize. Well, I just don't agree. Okay, yeah, your mom might be a liar, and your mom might be telling your business, and your mom might be stealing your money, but that's still your mama, so you should just go talk to her no matter what. Sorry, appreciate the open door, but I'm not coming to you. I understand you're speaking from your philosophy, your ideology, but I'm going to tell you right now, I ain't coming to you about nothing else of seriousness. Now, we can be cool. We can go out and have some Starbucks. We can go hang out at the park, shoot a basket. But when it comes to the serious things of life, I'm not coming to you. I'm not coming to you. Why? Because the reality of it is you didn't take into account anything I just told you. I got a serious situation. I'm coming to you because I got an open door with you, and your advice is actually not even advice technically. You didn't actually break down anything I said. You just said, oh, you ain't gonna talk to your mama. Oh, I can't believe it. I can't believe you ain't gonna talk to your mama. I just don't understand. I don't know. Hey, are you my mom's friend or my friend? I came to you to try to get some advice that might encourage me to talk to her and give me some insight on how I might take a different approach. Maybe there's some things that I didn't consider. That's where you want to go with this. At least say, you know what, I hear you. I may not agree, but you know what, at least I hear you. If you're going to have an open door policy, at least have enough respect to listen to what I'm saying. At least give me enough respect to pay attention. I don't care what the particular situation is. At least listen, which is another issue. You might just have somebody who is your homie, your friend, your boy, your girl, your friend girl, your friend boy, whatever phrase people are using now, may even be your spouse. Open door policy. You sleeping with the person. But let's just, and I know married people ain't gonna like this. I've been married before. Listen, you might just have married the worst person to go to for advice. I'm gonna get this one of them. I'm gonna give you a moment. It's not my fault. I didn't marry him. You did. Well, a husband and wife should be able, look, man, all these rules, a husband and wife should be able to come together and they should be able to talk about anything, Gabe. I don't like what you're saying. You're hurting my feelings. I hope my husband never listens to you. I hope my wife never listens to you. You're probably the person I'm talking about. Don't leave yet. Stay with me. What? Have you ever stopped to give an account on what kind of listener you are? Do you even give good advice? Do you know how to speak back to them the things that they've said to you without flipping out? That's another one. I ain't gonna even have time to get to that one. Can you hear what they're saying? Because as I said in the write-up, typically when you're talking about an open door policy, you're not talking about good stuff. You're not talking about come share with me your triumphs. You're not talking about come share with me all the wonderful blessings for those who use that word. You're not talking about coming to share with me your job promotion. You're talking about coming to share with me that you lost your job, you don't know how to pay your bills, and you just need somebody to offer some words of comfort, or if nothing else, just give you a hug, and this person is terrible, and they might be your mama, your daddy, your husband, your wife. If you ain't never watched one of these broadcasts, let me welcome you once again. Welcome. I bid you welcome. Let's just be real and stop playing these silly games in our own minds. Not everybody is fit to have an open door policy. Not everybody should be extending an open door. Not everybody should do that, because if they take inventory of themselves, they're not good at advice. They don't give good, wise advice, good counsel. They don't listen. They always talk, trying to just get to whatever point they want to get to. Some just want you to shut up, hurry up, you're done? Yeah, bye. Deuces. I got stuff to do. Now, those people tend to be a little obvious after a while. But I'm talking about those who will sit there, look at you. And then when you get done, either they saying stuff way they ain't got nothing to do with what you've been talking about the whole time. Advice stinks to high heavens, or worse yet, they want to share. So maybe you're talking to them about somebody you guys know mutually, and the first thing they do, soon as you get through talking, hey, I'm sitting here talking to your brother, and he just told me that you two had an argument. Hold on. I didn't ask you to go and try to play Mr. Fix-It. I just needed you to listen to me, because maybe I'm the one who was actually off, but I just needed you to listen. I just needed you to hear what I had to say. I just needed you to give me an ear. Maybe I didn't need advice at all. Maybe all I just needed was you to turn your ear to me and pay attention to what I'm saying. Offer a brother a hug. Tell me it's going to be all right. The open door policy in and of itself is not necessarily bad. So, Gabe, what you're really saying is it's the person. It's the people involved. Yeah. Yeah. That when you come down to it, that's the issue. When I began to realize those pastors that extended that to me, or whoever, when I understood who was extending it to me, know them that labor among, I told you it's going to come out. Know them that labor among you. When I understood that some pastors, some elders, now these are the people I run with, okay? Some singers and musicians, I'm a singer, musician, songwriter, whatever the case may be, people in the arts. When I understood that just because they were in a position didn't mean that they were equipped to be able to give me insight, they were equipped to be able to help me, guess what? I didn't go to them. Now, it may have hurt their feelings. I don't know. I didn't walk around and say, "Ooh, I don't trust them." I didn't turn people away from them. I didn't do that. But I have to protect my own self in the sense, now when I say that, I'm careful, because actually it's being led by the Spirit of God. But I have had the Spirit of God, just for a second here, tell me, Gabe, no. I want to get on the phone and call a pastor up and share something. Gabe, no. This, it is. Sure enough, I look long enough, I examine the situation long enough, that's not a person I can turn to. It just is what it is. Maybe your husband, maybe your wife, maybe your boyfriend, maybe your girlfriend, maybe your fiance just can't handle it. Now, I can hear somebody, yeah, but Gabe, you have to at least give him a chance. I love those at least give him a chance people. I love those people. And I'm not even being sarcastic. You know why I love you all? Because some of the same people who say to me, well, Gabe, at least give him a chance, are some of the same people that when you ask them about their own experiences, you know what they tell you? Man, I can't even do it, man. Man, I can't even do it, man. You can't do it. Yeah, man. Yeah, Gabe, you right. You right. Yeah, I can't do it, man. Those are the same ones. Then they'll tell you about, yeah, I have trust issues too, Gabe. I got trust issues too. Man, I want to trust people, but I just got trust issues. I got trust issues. I just can't do it, man. Same people who are trying to tell me, Gabe, you got to give him a chance. Maybe you didn't give him a chance. You didn't, we always put it on the one who's already got to struggle with trust. And we go, it's you. You just got to trust more. There may be some truth to that, but understand this. The reality of it is, we're telling people, you just got to trust. But we keep forgetting that that's not easy to do, especially if you detect or discern that person may not be the person, no matter how well-meaning, no matter how close the relationship. And you notice I keep coming back to that, because I think the thing that has probably hurt as many relationships as anything else is sharing your heart with someone, open door policy, and having your heart dashed against the rocks because they weren't listening. They were being antagonistic, not protagonistic. They weren't working with you. One of the things I do, and I don't usually talk about this on Thursdays, one of the things I do when people come to me for advice is I try to respond to them, even if they're telling me about something else or someone else. I do my best to respond to them. Let me give you an example. A mother and a daughter, right? So let's say the mother comes to me. Let's say the mother is 60, the daughter is 40. Gabe, it may not be advice necessarily, but Gabe, my daughter's really she's in a relationship. Oh, I'm gonna go deep with this one. She's in a relationship with a man. I'm just not feeling this dude. He's making me nervous. The things he does, the things he says. Gabe, I'm just uncomfortable. I'm just uncomfortable. So let's say she says 3 or 4 more things to kind of make the point about what is he doing to make her uncomfortable, right? So I might say something like this. Have you gotten to know him? Now, she came to me to talk to me about her daughter and her daughter's boyfriend. But I go, have you gotten to know him? Okay, what do you mean? Have you had a conversation with him? Have you sat him down? Maybe invite him over for lunch. Not with her, just invite him over. Hey, once she introduces you to him, invite him over. You'll let her know, hey, I'm gonna have your boyfriend over for lunch. What? Yeah, we just, just to talk. I want to get to know him separate from you. If you're serious enough about this guy that you introduced him to me, I want to get to know him. If he don't live in, maybe introduced on the phone, hey, can I get your significant other's number? What you want his number for? Because I want to talk with him. See, now there's some advice. And have a conversation. Because some of the things that he or she may be saying is based on whatever your son or daughter said. So they may be working from a lack of information, right? They may not be getting all the information. They may not really know what you're about. Maybe your son or daughter didn't tell them. Maybe they didn't inform them that certain subjects, my parents, my mom, my dad, my guardian gets a little nervous about. So that's why they're just openly talking about something and they didn't think about it. So that's the advice. That's the type of advice I would give. Hey, see if you can contact them separate from your child and be nice. I will say be nice and have a conversation. Because until you extend yourself to get to know them, you're just judging them. Yeah, you have a certain feeling about them. Okay, cool. Mama wit, daddy, whatever. Okay, cool. I'm not knocking that. You may have some discernment. Cool. But now you got to bag that up with some evidence. Then I'll give them 2 or 3 questions that they can ask that will afford them to be able to sift through. And if anybody's ever talked to me, you know, I give you 2 or 3 questions they can't even lie to. Because if they lie, you're going to know. Now, I won't say I'm gifted in that because that's a little too much. But trust me, you ask me, I can give you a question or 2 that'll cut right to the chase. So when I give advice, that's the kind of advice I give. I try to give advice relative to the situation and in particular, the person who's talking to me. So that's just an example. Let me tie a bow on this bad boy. Open door policy. I'm not saying the next time you hear somebody say that, just automatically assume they can't be trusted. I'm not saying stop saying it. What I'm saying is if somebody says it to you on a job, let me talk specifically about a job. Be very cautious. Be very, now I'm going to sound like my dad for a second, but it is what it is. Be very careful. My recommendation to you is if you are dealing with a personal issue at home and you're on your job, even if you've gotten close, you've gotten to know your boss, I would be very careful in how I state to my boss or supervisor or manager my personal situation. Here's an example, real quick one. Medical. Easy. Medical. You're sick, somebody in the family is sick, and you may have to miss some time, right? Now you need to inform them because let's say you're the one who's sick and you may actually have to miss a significant amount of time. My first advice would be get a doctor's note. Notice what I'm saying, evidence, evidence. Get some evidence, get something that backs you up, that gives enough explanation of the medical situation, just enough so you're not sitting there in attempting to explain why you're about to miss the next week. You end up sharing all kind of stuff. Yeah, because really, boss, you know, I've been dealing with chronic for, and then, oh man, and oh yeah, you know, it's in my family. They don't need to know all that. You put that on the application, remember? Is there any medical issues? That should be on your application. What if you didn't put it on the application? Maybe it's something that just developed. I'm seeing a doctor for something, and hey, look, people have gotten fired for this stuff. I know this doesn't sound happy and pleasant. I'm telling you right now, people are open door policy. An employer hears an employee is not going to be at work for a while, and they got to have enough maturity to work through that, right? And be able to listen with some humanity to the person who is trying to share probably way too much about the medical situation. So my recommendation, I didn't necessarily mean to go here, but yeah, I did to an extent. My recommendation is if you're going to be off your job, you got a medical situation, or you had to go to emergency, and the doctor says, well, you need to show yourself to your regular care physician, that suggests it might be pretty serious. If they give you days off, hey, I don't care if you're 60 years old, get over yourself. I know this ain't middle school, elementary school, high school anymore. Get you a doctor's note and submit the doctor's note with a minimal explanation. Let the doctor's note and ask the physician to put on there the recommended number of days off so that your explanation is minimal. Even if you and your boss are the best friends ever, if there's human resource at your job, I know your best friend might be upset if you do what I'm finna say, but listen to me. Go through human resources. Don't text your friend, hey girl, hey bro, I'm gonna be off. Oh, you gonna be off? Yeah, I'm gonna be off a few days. Yeah, but Gabe, I've known her or him for 20 years. You do, look, do what you do. This is just advice. This is just advice. I highly recommend you don't say anything directly to them first. If you have human resources, go to the human resource. Let them know, or at least simultaneously. And then let your bestest friend know, hey, I contacted your human resource. I just wanted to give you the heads up. I went to the doctor. I'm going to send you the doctor's note. Hey, girl, you all right? Hey, I'm going to send you the doctor's note. I'm going to take care of this. And if they press you, well, no, tell me what's up. Tell me what's up. Anything. Open door. Tell them. Be mature. Look, we're friends. We've known each other for a while. We hang out. But this is a business situation, and I hope you can respect. I love you, but you are my boss. And so I want to go through proper channels. I don't want to put you in a bad situation. Well, I wouldn't be in a bad situation. I wouldn't be. Look, I don't plan on trying to get over on the job anyway. Now, I just threw that in, a little business ethics there, threw that in. I'm not trying to cheat the system anyway, so I want to protect you. Why? Because if there's an audit done on our personnel files, I don't want it to look like you play favoritism. If I'm off for a week, people are going to talk. So I went through human resource. I let them know, and I'm letting you know so that it's not just your word and you granted me some time off, and somebody saw me at the store because I have to go to the store to get some food, and they thought I was playing hooky. What about my parents, Gabe? What about people who said open door, and I don't know if I can trust them? They're my friends. They're my spouse. What about those situations? Now, I can't give really specific advice. You have to contact me, and we can talk about it. But let me just say this. You've been married. You raised your children. I would assume at some point you know them. Unlike an employer-employee situation where you may be new to the job, you may not be besties. You know, it's strictly a work relationship, so you don't know if you can really trust them. But if you're dealing with a situation and you need somebody to talk to, I would say call me, or contact me in some form. But hey, I understand. You may not know me like that. Cool, get it. But this is your Gabe, but this is my best friend. If I can't call my best friend, see, that's that nonsense right there. That's that nonsense. If I can't call my best friend, then what kind of friendship do we have? Hopefully an open and truthful one. Well, if that's your best friend, my first recommendation, and you don't really feel like you can tell them the truth, tell them. I don't mean no disrespect, bestie, best. But honestly, you make me uncomfortable to be able to tell you some things that I'm going through. After they get through clutching their pearls, yeah, I said it. Well, I don't know why you what? We've been friends all this time. I know, and I apologize for not telling you. But there were some times when I just let it go, and I shouldn't have. There were some times when I trusted you, and the advice you gave me, I'm gonna be honest with you, it was terrible. I did it, and it didn't work. Or you really didn't listen to me. I shared with you what happened with this, that, and the other. I told you what I was going through, and I just chalked it up. And because I got advice from somebody else, I let it go. But now you know the situation. You found out about it, and you're waiting for me to come to you. And because I love you, I got to tell you the truth. Now, I know that's a little deeper than most of us want to go. That's some tough advice. But if that's truly your bestest, and we're going to be friends no matter what, I should do a whole broadcast friends no matter what. I might just do that. I won't call it friends no matter what. I'm gonna call it something else. Vows. That's it. Vows. In other words, I'm telling you, you got to be intentional. You get my point? You got to be intentional. Listen, open door policy, cool. You got to be intentional. And to the person who's telling people, my kids, Gabe, I don't care what you say, they can come to me with anything. They can tell me anything. My daughter came out the closet to me. Okay, cool. How'd you take it? Well, I told her, I don't agree. Okay. Okay. So you were honest with her? Yeah. Well, I cussed her out, Gabe. I'm just be honest. I cussed her out. That's what I kind of figured. You said open door policy, which suggests that you will be reasonable. I'm not saying you're not going to be emotional, but that you will be reasonable. It suggested that you would take your emotions and control them in face of whatever you were about to hear. That's what it suggests. When you say to somebody, it's an open door anytime, call me, text me, message me, come to the house, whatever you got to do, take me out for Starbucks. When you tell people that, you are giving them the impression you are Gandhi. You are giving them the impression you are Jesus. You are giving them the impression you are the greatest counselor. You are the greatest, most stable-minded person to come to in the history of human beings. I would suggest you be thorough in your estimation of your skills. Yeah, I said it. Having given advice to people for almost 30 years, actually probably longer than 30 years. I was doing it when I was a teenager, even though I was telling my dad, like, why are people coming to me? Son, just do the job. Okay. No, actually elementary school. I actually have people telling me their problems. Gabe, just listen, and then whatever comes to you, tell them. That's literally what my dad told me. I have been doing this for a long time. Now, I've been accused of having wisdom beyond my years. That's a conversation for another time. Okay. So the reality of it is, listen to me. If you're the person who feels confident in your ability to control your emotion, to listen despite yourself, and 3, to give advice that can be backed up by more than just your feelings. If you so happen to be a Christian, I would hope that some of your advice would be biblical. I would hope that you could offer them a scripture, at least one. I'm not going to hold your feet to the fire. That's just Gabe talking. Gabe. See, that didn't say pastor. That didn't say elder. That doesn't say minister. That just says Gabe. If you're a Christian and you read your Bible, hopefully every day, and you pray sometime, hopefully, I would hope if you've been a Christian 5 years, that you would be able to give them a scripture that fits the situation. If not, while they're talking, send me a quick message on Facebook Messenger. Gabe, what? And by the way, people do that all the time. Gabe, my daughter, my son, my boss, my so-and-so, they come to me personally. Obviously, I'm not telling nobody's business. I get messages on Messenger. People send me text messages. Gabe, I was just told this. What do I say? And ask people. I respond. I may not be able to respond at the moment, but trust me, at some point or another, I'm going to respond. I'm not going to leave you hanging like that. Even if I don't have advice for them through you, I might have advice for you. It might be leave that situation alone. Don't say nothing. Run. Get out of there. Now, for those who are not Christians, because I got non-believers on my page, I'm saying something very similar to you. If it's a medical issue, encourage them to go to their doctors. If you so happen to be in the medical field, That doesn't mean you're an expert. Be careful with that. Because believe it or not, you can get sued. There's some stuff you got to consider. Don't try to play psychologist because you watch Dr. Phil. Does he still come on? I don't even know. Does he still come on? All right, my time is up. I got technically a couple of minutes. I started early. Hear me. All I'm saying to you is open door policy. Okay. But I beg you. I plead with you. I am asking you from the bottom of my toes. Skip my heart, go down all the way to my toes. I am asking you, if you're going to tell people you have an open door policy, before you try to push that on them when they're going through a crisis, at least stop and get real with yourself. Get real with yourself. Get real with yourself. Now, my feelings about vaccination and all that stuff is what it is. But I like to believe that if a person comes to me, and I have had this happen, so I don't even have to give an example, a fictitious example. I do have people share with me their views on not getting vaccinated. And I just listen to them. That's all I do. That's all I do. I don't even give advice because they're not asking me usually. They're just telling me what they think. So I just listen. And when they're done, I go on about my business. I don't even give advice. Why? Because I know that that particular subject is touchy. Usually people who don't want to get vaccinated not only have their reasons, but it comes with a particular attitudinal disposition. I won't get into it at this point, but the people I've talked to, when they say I'm not getting vaccinated, they don't say it like, I'm not going to get vaccinated. No, I ain't taking, they tend to be a little bit edgy. Is that a nice way to say that? So they're not looking for me to give a retort. They're not looking for that. They're not looking for that. And I'm saying to those of you, when it comes to that particular subject, since I brought it up, for those of you who are on either sides of the camp, even with an open door policy, if you have a strong feeling about that and you absolutely positively disagree with those on the other side, maybe you need to close the door. Maybe that's one instance where you got to have a closed door policy. Look, I'm willing to look. Are you getting my point? I won't go any further. You just got to be real with yourself, honest with yourself. If you're going to try to be someone people can come to, don't play like there's not a subject that won't bother you. I've talked about this openly and I'm done. I'm going to say it again. I don't like bullies. I don't like abusers, manipulators. I don't like it. And I struggle with liking them. Now, I'm supposed to love everybody. And if you're a Christian, please pray for me. I need your help. So if somebody comes to me, because I'm in ministry, or Gabe, I heard you say open door policy, and I want to share something with you, I did something to a child or something like that, I'm going to, with great constraint, tell them, look, I'm not the person to talk to. I understand that you really want to come clean. I understand that you really need to dig into that, and you need to unearth that. I hear you, but I'm not going to really be able to listen to you. I'm just going to be honest with you. I'll tell them. I'm a struggle. No, okay, no. I want to be able to tell. Look. I'm a push back. Look. I appreciate your confidence in me. Thank you. But you don't understand. I have something in me personal that makes that very difficult for me to be reasonable in my open door policy. So I hate to do this. I'm going to have to close the door on that. And as a matter of fact, I highly recommend you go to certified counselors for that. And I have a counselor friend, won't identify the person, who is Dr. So-and-so and so. And they told me they struggle with that as well. And they will typically refer that person on as well. Yes, but you're Pastor so-and-so. Yeah, I am. But I also am human. I was born human. I wasn't born pastor. I was born human. I'm going to die human. I may not even be a pastor when I die. I may retire. So a human is what I am. A human is what I will be. A human is what I'm going to die as. So there are some areas. Now, maybe I'll grow in that area with your prayers and the help of the Holy Spirit. Maybe I'll grow in that area and come to a place of maturity where I can handle that. But in my open door, I actually have some subjects. Well, that particular subject, anything with bullying and anything like that, I struggle with. I'm just being honest. I'm putting it out there. All right. I'm a few minutes over. We're back. I'll see you next week. Until next time, have a good rest of your week.